Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope you're doing well. Okay, I just had my own personal coaching session tonight. And as I was working through some of these goals that I have for myself and my business, I noticed how much self doubt kept coming up in myself. And so I want to talk to you about self doubt. I've learned some things, and I also see this happen in so many of our brains. It's part of the human experience. And so I thought I'd offer you a couple thoughts and tools, things to consider for yourself around this self-doubt. So for me, I often find myself thinking that all of these other people who have their life together and who are successful uh in their business. For me, my thoughts were about my own business and how I want to grow, and goals that I have that I feel like are really good goals. But then this self-doubt keeps coming. My brain is offering me the thought, well, that successful person doesn't have self-doubt. What's wrong with me? Why do I have all of these thoughts that are keeping me stuck? Why can't I do that thing? And it's just, again, so interesting what our brain wants to offer us, but it's so untrue. Like, so untrue. Anytime we want to get to the next level of growth or evolve or progress, then self-doubt is going to be part of it. It comes with, it's the package deal. Comes with growth. But I want to back it up a little bit, just a minute, and talk about some of us who have a very deep rooted self-doubt. That's that debilitating self-doubt. Um let's talk about that first, because the truth is, children, when we're growing up, when we're raised often by narcissistic parents, we begin to internalize all of these negative messages that we get from them, and we make those mean something about ourselves. So when you go through each stage of growth in your life and your reality starts to be tested by these negative messages that we get from our parents and other adults early in our life. um I can recall even uh parents of my friends that I was close to, messages from them that my brain picked up that I can trace back to. And so what happens is that you learn to question yourself in everything. There's some of you that have been raised to fit in a certain box or mold, right? Your place is to um, serve the parent. And now you grow up with this, with constant thoughts of self doubt when you don't fit this mold or when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And so it makes sense if your parent growing up continually told you that your thoughts and feelings were wrong, that you're too sensitive, that or too emotional, that you shouldn't question your parent, that you're not good enough no matter how hard you try. And that can come through very subtle, covert messages. That can come from something simple as loading a dishwasher and having a parent come and remove every dish out of the dishwasher and say, "Not good enough, do it again." Now, my brain picked up a message of that wasn't good enough. I'm not good enough. And so these things can happen and be pre-programmed for us to start doubting ourselves. No matter how hard we try, and we start to be haunted by this self-doubt. The great news is that parents don't have to change in order for you to heal. And that can be unwound. Those thoughts can be unraveled, unpacked, and released with really good recovery work. Okay. But our whole nervous system is so hardwired for comfort. The brain is designed to seek comfort, but our higher self, our soul, is wired for growth. So think about how that oppositional pull right there is so strong. And it's so interesting and fascinating that it was designed that way. So nothing's gone wrong when there's that pull of opposition between, what your human brain and body are designed to do, right? That wire for comfort and safety and low energy, but who we really are is is absolutely wired for growth and progression and evolving. And I think this is why so many people don't pursue that next step, or they don't progress because they don't want to deal with that discomfort and that self doubt that comes with it. And so we don't do that thing that we want to do. And we end up, doing is just living, eh. That's that's what I came up with tonight in my own coaching is, um, why am I not doing this goal? What am I settling for? And I'm settling for, eh, I'm already working 12 hours a day. My brain's used to that. So, eh, I'll settle for that because the thoughts of self-doubt that are coming with achieving this goal and changing something that I know is going to be better comes with that pain. My brain's like, "We'll just settle for eh." Right? And and how many of us are doing that in all these different areas of our life, right? Now the brain thinks. My brain thinks that it escaped discomfort rather than going forward and leaning into that pain by just settling for eh. But the truth is, all of these different escape routes that my brain is taking to avoid that discomfort just leads to a different flavor of misery, right? It's not leading to growth. And so I think there's this lie out there that tells us that if we pursue what we want, what we desire, that we're going to feel happy and like rainbows and butterflies, and we're going to have that feeling of happiness. And then that's our indicator that it's right and everything's going to go well, right? But it's just lies. It's just pure lies. It's so hard because of that oppositional pull. The brain resists and offers so many thoughts that feel very, very true, but it's lies and it's just thoughts. And as I started to notice that in myself, um, with my own coaching, as my coach pulled thoughts out of my head that I could start noticing and seeing, um, gaining that awareness around, it's really interesting. It's a lot of the discomfort and effort to overcome those negative thoughts that my human brain is and all of our human brains are offering us. It's not a bad thing. Because when we overcome that negative emotion, we push through, we lean into that discomfort um, of doubting our ability, then we come out on the other side feeling so empowered and so capable. And I know that every one of you listening to this have had some area in your life where you leaned into that discomfort and didn't settle for and you can see evidence of coming out on the other side feeling empowered and confident and capable and courageous and brave. Now, it's and it now becomes evidence to our brain, which is really good. Now we can say, I can do hard things because like my brain's doing, giving me lots of evidence why I can't do that thing. I am trying to remember the things that I have done. I mean, I remember the very first time I posted something on Facebook that told my story and how, oh my gosh, how hard that was and how much self-doubt I felt once I hit send. And I will I'll tell you right now, I hit send and then hit delete. Like that happened several times before I actually hit send and then walked away. So it happens to all of us in all these different areas. So when we start to set a new goal and we want to do something different, and then that self-doubt comes, and starting, thinking differently, and it's trying to help rather than thinking, why am I doubting myself and feeling this negative emotion about yourself? Okay. It's, of course, I'm feeling self doubt. Of course, there's negative emotion. It's supposed to be there. Nothing's gone wrong, but I'm feeling this. Remember, it's also a choice to feel self-doubt. And I like how Dieter Uchtdorf talks about doubt yourself, doubt your doubts, doubt your self-doubt. Because remember, your brain's going to give you very convincing thoughts that feel very true as to why you can't do that thing. Okay. So doubt your self-doubt. Um, and know that you can overcome. You can overcome. It's it's not like you're walking down the road, um, and self-doubt comes along and just like takes over you. Like it doesn't just swoop you in and take you. I actually choose thoughts that are creating that self-doubt. Okay? That's all created in my own mind. Self-doubt thoughts don't support us in what we are actually capable of. Like think about that. Self-doubt thoughts are not supporting you in what you're capable of doing because your higher self is absolutely capable. Who you are is absolutely capable. Self-doubt doesn't support the abilities and talents that you currently have. Think about that one. My my husband's a piano player, and every time he sits down at the piano, he has self-doubt creep in and he says, "I can't play the piano." Every time. And then he starts playing along and I'm like, "Mhm." But his brain is going to offer him that every single time with the ability and talent that he already has. Like jerk brain. My son is playing football his senior year in high school. First time ever playing football. Literally first time ever putting on pads and playing football. Before he actually put on that gear, he went out on that football field for the first time and felt confident in his athletic abilities. He currently has amazing athletic abilities, but he never played football before. So once he got out there, guess what? Self-doubt started to creep in and he starts to feel uncomfortable and he starts to question his ability. The ability that he's already developed. Jerk brain, right? Our ability to grow is only limited by our self-doubt. So, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of if you make this change or set this goal? Okay, thought dump that. What is your brain making it mean if you stop doing something that you've been doing for years that you want to stop doing? What's it afraid of? Why is um why is your brain doubting your ability to change this thing? Really start questioning your thoughts that your brain's offering you. It's the things that we are willing to try over and over and over until we can increase the capacity to do them. Just like my husband, like, well, my stepson starting to take piano. He doesn't play like, doesn't have the same ability as my husband. And so he's practicing over and over and over willingly so that he can increase his capacity, right, to do these things. And so like my coaches encouraged me to do is that when things don't work out the way that I want them to or how I think it should have worked out, then I have to ask myself, am I willing to try 50 more times? So, my stepson, yes, you missed that note on that song. Are you willing to try again? If I'm willing to try again, I'm increasing my capacity to grow and evolve and not settle for eh. The women I coach who are dating again after divorce, the thoughts are if I go on 5 dates and I can't find the man of my dreams, then I'm going to give up. Look how quickly, I remember doing this, how quickly the brain doubts our ability to find someone. I'm only giving myself 5 tries, right? And so then it goes, there's no one out there for me. No one out there. There's no men. There's no men that are, you know, good out there anymore. I might as well give up. Screw men. Like that's where the brain is going to go. They're doubting their ability and their capacity to find someone because they're limiting themselves. The brain is limiting themselves. So our options of what Well, our opinions of what is keeping us, opinions of ourself is what's keeping us from getting what we want, that desired result. And and so what are your opinions of the hurdles between you and your goal? So here I am, and my goal is to have um, have clients move to group coaching because I know that it is so helpful and beneficial. So I had to look at all of the obstacles that are in the way between me and that goal. And those obstacles are all of my thoughts. It's so painful to look. So painful to look at. My brain my brain immediately goes to loss, the thoughts of loss. And that's just interesting to notice. That's actually something that my brain loves to offer me in so many different areas of my life is thoughts of loss. And I'm noticing a pattern, right? So rather than try and have some, that self doubt, try having some self compassion. You can you can commit to self doubt or you can commit to your commitment. I can commit to what's laying in between me and my goal, or I can commit to my goal. It's one or the other. So, what if you remove all of your escape routes, all the options to self doubt, and you just went forward anyways? When we have hopes about something different in our life, when we start to think about what might be possible, those dreams expose our doubts. So then we stop dreaming of those things because soon as I might, I mean, I've had this goal for a while. I've known, I know that group coaching is extremely powerful. I feel group coaching is more powerful than one-on-one. I've seen it in my life and I've seen it in my groups. So I had that like that, and that's my dream is to evolve in that. I can help more women that way. That's my dream. That dream exposed all of these self-doubts in between me and my dream. And I had to see them and look at it. Right. So number one is recognize that awareness, recognize all the ways that your brain is creating that self-doubt, that false self-doubt. Now, this can be tricky because self-doubt thinking tricks us into thinking that it's true and real. I am like, there's still a few thoughts here between me and my goal that I am pretty convinced they're true. my my coach did a she did a pretty good job at helping me with a lot of these thoughts, but there's a couple here that I'm like, no, that's true. So, okay. And so I, that dream exposed those for me. So think about something that you really want, and immediately your brain is going to cause self doubt and write those self doubts down. Notice what you feel and do when you think that way. Do you feel discouraged? Right? When you're discouraged, there's no action. Once you recognize this, then you can choose if you want to keep believing this way and keep living in that or not. You have the choice. You always have the choice. You always get to decide to believe it and let that stand in the way between you and your goal and your dreams and your creation. What do you want your opinion of yourself to be? What do you want to think when you think about yourself and your dreams and your goals? What are you going to choose to think? Are you going to are you going to doubt or are you going to create and evolve? What do you want? One of the best ways, like I said, that I have made significant progress is through group coaching. And I am, as I'm moving towards that goal in my own business, I'm not only seeing the results, like I said, in my own life. And so I have to start practicing those thoughts. Those thoughts that I know are true is what I have to spend more time thinking than these self-doubt thoughts. So here's what my coach offered me that I'm going to do and I'm going to offer you. Okay. I'm going to pass this brilliant stuff down. So I I have identified thoughts that I know are true about my goal. Okay. And so I'm going to practice thinking those thoughts. I'm going to time myself every day to think for 10 minutes on these thoughts because my brain keeps defaulting to these self doubt ones. And the more I practice and stay in this space, these thoughts over here, probably can't see what I'm doing down here. I want to practice thinking these thoughts that I want to think that's going to help me get that goal. And I'm going to spend less time over here. Okay. That's really what it's about. And so she's challenging me to spend more time over here in these thoughts. And so I'm going to time myself every day during the day to spend time over here and start to gain that traction for myself to believe something different. I know a lot of you have self doubts about coaching, self doubts about being able to move forward, about being able to start doing something that you really want to do, making decisions that your higher self knows is going to help you grow and evolve and move forward, but your hardwire brain is not comfortable with, right? And so step into that uncomfortable, right? It's so hard, but it's how we evolve. Okay. It's going to keep you from settling in We will never, ever rise above the opinion we have of ourselves. If I continue to have the opinion of myself as I'm never going to reach that goal, I'm not capable, I can't do it, then I'm never going to rise above that thought. Think about that. You're never going to rise above the opinion that you have of yourself. So, how you think about you and how you think about you in relation to your goal is so critical. And your goal can be, it can be anything, right? It can be anything, however you want to move forward, whatever new thing you want to do or feel like you need to do. Separation, that can feel really, really hard. Making a call to a lawyer can feel really, really hard. Going on your first date after divorce can feel really, really hard. Trusting your partner again in the marriage. We can stay in or we can see how we evolve, grow, move, and create. My Believing in You Coach program starts, the next one starts November 4th. I highly encourage you to consider joining that group because that is what it's about. It's about raising and changing the opinion you have of yourself, the thoughts that you have about yourself, so that you can believe new, so that you can grow. I know it's possible. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And I know that women who have gone through betrayal and trauma and abuse have a lot of thoughts about themselves that are keeping you stuck. And I've been there. I know. I get it. And so let me help you sort through those thoughts. And as you not only get coached, but as you watch someone else get coached and watch how their brain is working and how similar it is to your brain, it gives you more traction. It's like double coaching. It is so powerful. It is so strong. It is not like a support group. This is not your typical support groups that a lot of you I know are in. Okay. It is run completely different. If you want to know more about it, if you want to see how this is going to help you, then reach out and book a free call with me and let's just chat about it. Okay. I am so passionate about this. I know that it works. And I want to help women gain that traction because I know that it's possible. And I spent so many years of my life not having these resources, not having these tools. And once I gained these tools, once I started to do this for myself, then I started to make that traction and I started to create my life. And it is so amazing how like there's no arrival. Like I'm still creating, creating, creating. And my brain is still doubting and doubting and doubting. Hey, I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Reach out, sign up, do something new, lean into that discomfort, doubt your self doubt. All right, everyone, have a beautiful weekend. I'll see you next time.